Hi there, this is Marty from owingsart.com. Thank you for stopping by today as we take a look at these Renoir fine art colored pencils. This is the 24 pencil tin. These pencils are made in China. They are marketed as higher end professional quality artist grade pencils, and you can see the variety of colors right here. And today what I'll do is I'll put each of these colors to the test. I'll make some marks with them and then test erasability. I'll test blending, I'll test layering, and as I always do, I'll sharpen a pencil or two up and see how well they sharpen, and through that process I'll get a better understanding of how well these pencils perform, and then their individual characteristics as well, and hopefully then you can make a more informed decision on whether these are the right pencils for you. Alright, well, first thing I'm going to do is start by making some marks, and I should mention before I get started that these are oil-based pencils. At least that's what the website says, and it's hard to find a color chart for these Marco Renoir or the lower end Marco Raffini pencils made by the same company. There aren't really color charts out there per se, so a little hard to identify the colors in the set, but I gave it a shot based on information I was able to collect from other sources on the internet. Once I'm done with the mark making and the testing of the pencils, then I will move into trying to maybe draw a picture with these pencils. And it's good to do that. As an artist, you want to really know, well, that's great that they erase well, or you know, they sharpen nicely, or they don't break, or what kind of characteristics. But ultimately for an artist, you want to put them to the test by drawing some kind of art. So I'll try to include that in the video as well. So here, start off with the white. Very hard to see on the white paper, I'll give you that, but I can see it here live, and it goes down quite nice. And then there's a yellow, and then we just go through all the colors here, and I won't make you sit through the boring part where I mark all these down in regular speed. I'll speed this up here a little bit, and you can take a look at these colors and basically get an idea for how they go down on the paper. Well, the colors went down very nice, and they have sort of a nice soft feeling to them, and they are the colors are nice and bright and vivid, and I like that about them. And the other thing I can tell is that there's a smoothness or sort of a creaminess to these pencils as they go down on the paper. The paper I'm using is a regular sketch drawing paper. It's not very toothy, so it's not going to grab a lot of the the core out of the pencil, but it grabs enough with this paper that the marks are very nice, and as you can see, very vibrant. So next thing I wanted to do was take a shot at drawing a flower here. So I'm just doing some of the outlining and coloring here, the basic part, and then I'll go in and go ahead and do more of the detail here in a second. Now I should mention that these particular pencils are not very costly. I think I paid a little less than $25 US, and that was with free shipping from China. You will have to order these pencils generally, depending on where you live in the world, from China directly. They don't really sell these in the online or online retailers or the brick and mortar stores here in the United States, so you'll have to look elsewhere for them. Okay, so here what I try to do is layer these just to see how deep the color would get and see if I'd get any waxing or blooming with these pencils, and I did not experience that at all. So that's a mark of a pretty good pencil, where you don't you can layer upon layer and you're not going to have a lot of blooming. I also spent a considerable amount of time sort of blending the colors without really any problem at all. They're quite nice, and as you can see in this flower, some of the blending I did I think it turned out pretty good. I had really no trouble blending at all, and the layering works great. So all around, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the initial performance on these areas. Now, I did some color blending, and maybe that wasn't as great as, say, a Faber-Castell Polychromos or a higher-end Caran d'Ache pencil, but for the price you're going to pay for these pencils, pretty good. Now, I know a lot of people like to look at pencils from different perspectives, you know, like, okay, so I'm going to sketch with these, or I'm going to do some real fine art with these, or I'm just going to use them for adult coloring. I think in all of those applications, these pencils would work just great, and you wouldn't have any problem at all using them for those things. Now, over time, if you've tested enough pencils, you start to get a feel for the quality of a pencil just with it in your hand and using it for a while. And these seem like actually really good quality pencils. And I'm pretty amazed that for the price, you get the performance that you do from these Marco Renoir pencils. It's I'm not going to call it you know, extraordinary, but it's pretty darn good. And when you consider the value proposition here for what you get for the money you spend, all in all, it's a pretty good deal. And I really have, like I said, very few complaints about these pencils. One thing I will say is, though, they didn't print the color name again on the pencil, and I always I know I say this in almost every video, but if you're a pencil manufacturer and you're going to make pencils, print the color on the on the pencil. Don't make us go to a website and try to look up a color chart and match your numbers and all those things. Just print the name on there. I mean, I know why they do it. They do it to save money, but the higher end pencil manufacturers tend to print the colors right on the pencil. It's very helpful for the end user. Now, this particular exercise is just going to be to sharpen these pencils up and just see how they do in a sharpener, and really no trouble at all sharpening these pencils. Now, as I recommend in all my videos and to all my subscribers and anybody who ever watches, please don't feed your pencils to the machine sharpener, because that's just like throwing money away. When you stick it in there, it just eats your pencil. Try to hand sharpen your pencil. It gives you a better feel for the pencil. It gives you a better accuracy. And if you've got a nice, good hand sharpener, I recommend a German made hand sharpener. It'll sharpen your pencils quite nice, and you'll be a lot happier in the end. A few quick statistics about these pencils. They look to be, and they don't have a lot of spec information on these, but it looks to be about a 3.5 or 3.6 millimeter core from my measurements. This is responsibly sourced cedar casing on the pencil, so they take the wood from renewable sources or places that promise that they renew the trees and plant new ones and things like that. So that's a good thing. And They're pretty much standard length, and they're circular with some varnish there, as you can see on the lower half, and then the color, or as close to the color as I think you're going to get printed on the end of the pencil. So, you know, in lieu of having the color name, at least that's one good thing about the pencils. So overall, I'm very impressed with these Marco Renoir pencils. I can recommend them without hesitation. I need to put them to a light fast test, as I do with all the pencils, and just see how they hold up over time. But so far the pigment's rich, they erase nice, they sharpen nice, there's not a lot of breakage, they blend quite well, and I love the feel of an oil-based artist pencil in your hand, and these feel good. You know, again, the website doesn't verify that they're oil or wax, but all of the other sources on the internet seem to point to oil-based pencils. So that's a good look at the Marco Renoir Fine Art colored pencil, and I appreciate you stopping by today. Don't forget to leave a comment or a question if you have one. Subscribe to the channel, and please share the video if you found it helpful. That always helps bring in more subscribers and people who are interested in art and art materials. This has been Marty for owingsart.com. So long, everybody.